Welcome to Marlene at Home. Spring cleaning or sweep it under the rug? What's your style for spring cleaning? I thought for this program that I wanted to do on spring cleaning, I would interview a number of library staff to see how they spring clean, or if they spring clean, or how their family history, what their family history was in spring cleaning. Another title I thought of for calling this program is Spring Cleaning, a Novel Idea. And for some, it is a novel idea. For some of us, we've grown up with lots of spring cleaning history, but our lifestyle is a little different. And so I wanted to talk about some of the styles that I heard people mention as I asked them about spring cleaning. Some library staff said, my family's idea about spring cleaning was keep your windows closed and your curtains strong. Somebody else said, well, I just do exactly what my mom's done, and probably my grandmother too. I do everything from soup to nuts. I grew up with a mom and a grandmother on both sides that did lots of spring cleaning. And I did in my early years, but me myself, I'm kind of falling down in this area. But don't tell anybody. One of our pages, college-age pages, said, well, in our house, spring cleaning was always done by my dad and us kids. Dad would wait till there were nice spring weekends, and depending on the weather and how fast or slow we worked, it would take X number of spring weekends of good weather for us to get the whole house clean. She said, I always thought of spring cleaning as kind of like power washing the inside of your house. And we were all like, well, don't use the power washer. But anyway, I don't know what your background is with spring cleaning, but I thought it would be fun to look back to see how others do it, or previous generations do it, or how we're doing it ourselves these days. I always say they don't make women like they used to. Another of the people that I consulted for this program is one of our library customers. And Fran has become a dear friend to me. Never knew her except through the library. She's one of my puzzle people, but our puzzle family at the North Carroll branch. But I can tell from our conversations, she is a connoisseur of spring cleaning. Kind of makes me laugh. She's about the age that my mom would be. They both have the same name, Fran. And I've discovered they have almost the exact same style of spring cleaning. But let me talk about my other grandmother first, my Mom Davis. She didn't have any electricity, so she had to add a few more things before she'd even begin to think about spring cleaning, like light the wood stove, boil the water, and then she could go into the house and look at a room and say, okay, I'm going to take down the curtains. And then she could wash her curtains in a big tub outside or on a scrub board, and then another big tub of water to rinse them, and then hang them over the line. And then while things are drying, she could take, and I have two of her irons, she could take her irons and put them on the stove to warm. Now, I don't know how many hours it takes or minutes, but you would put this on the stove and remove the wooden handle. And I have two of hers. And then after it's heated up and her curtains are dry, then she could iron her curtains. That must have been quite the day. But that was one of the things she would do with spring cleaning. Another thing she would do is she would take any carpets that she had in her house, roll them up. Maybe she would sweep them first with a broom, roll them up, guess tote them over your shoulder, I don't know, or maybe my pop-up helped her, take it out, put it over the good old backyard clothesline once again, and beat it. Beat it with a rug beater. I use this as a wall decoration. But anyway, beat it with a rug beater until it was clean, leave it out in the air to air and to get some sunshine, and make it smell good. And so you can see, we've come a long way, baby. I asked Fran, I was trying to remember how long it took my mom to clean, and Fran said, well, here are the rules. You take 2 days to clean every bedroom, and you always start with the bedrooms, and you start, if it's a ranch-style house, you start at the back of the house, always start with bedrooms first, start at the back of the house and work forward. If it's a 2-story house, you start upstairs, work your way down to the main rooms downstairs. And that's exactly what my mother did. My mother taught me to clean by starting from the top of a room to the bottom. So not in spring cleaning, since I'm not a connoisseur of spring cleaning anymore, but say I'm cleaning this bedroom of mine, I have a long extended feather duster, and so I like to, get the cobwebs, go up here. Now, if my mother was here, she'd never start without a ladder, because see, I would just stop. Oh, I can't reach all the way to the top. So I'd either call my husband or I'd call it a day. I might swish around here and get some of the cobwebs off around here. And at first I would take down the curtains if I was spring cleaning and get those laundered. Now, if you have draperies, then you don't want to launder those. You want to put those on air fluff in your dryer. And for a short while, just fluff them up, get them smelling fresh, put a dryer sheet in. If you have a clothesline, put them outside to air on a nice spring breezy day. So curtains would be one of the first things you would do. But using a feather duster. Fran told me she always wipes down all of her walls, takes everything off, and she said, be sure you say you have to clean every single item in the room. So she said she uses a wet mop. No, on this she uses a dry mop or a very damp mop. And my good mop, I can't put on a wall. She keeps a separate mop for her wall. So for me, if I was doing that, I have one of these where you can change the bottom and wash it. So this is a nice clean one I just washed today. So I could go along and I could wipe down all my walls. Now my mother was the type that dry wall cleaning wasn't enough. She had to get up on the ladder and with a damp rag clean all of the walls, wash down all of the walls, get all the dust, get all the dirt. Oh boy. That little bit, look how much dust. So I should do that. Anyway, so starting from the top of the room, working your way down, cleaning everything. Probably one thing I forgot is when I start, and I started early this morning, later this morning working on this program. It was a beautiful day. I like, this will be great. I'll open the windows, the air will be blowing through. So open the windows, blow some air through, let fresh air in. My mother would close the bedroom door because there might be heat on in another room, or you might not want to get the whole house as cool as the room you're working on. But anyway, open the windows, air things out, and as I said, start in the bedroom. Also, you'd want to strip the bedding, and not just your sheets. You want to wash all of your blankets, you want to wash your comforter or your bedspread, or if it's a comforter you can't launder, then you want to do the air fluff or out over the line. You could even use your rug beater. Anyway, all to freshen all of that, all those blankets and bedding. Also, my mother used to use that as a time to flip the mattress over. And she used to have some kind of a pattern like, okay, this is the top, this is the bottom. We're going to flip it over this way, top and bottom. The next time we might switch it left to right, that kind of thing. I forget the formula, but I don't even know. A lot of our mattresses today, I know ours isn't one you can flip. But that used to be part of it too. You would want to do a feather duster on your fan, or as my mother, get a ladder and wipe it all down and dust that all off. And I would do that before you do the walls. As you continue in your bedrooms, you'll want to wipe down all the baseboards and the woodwork around the doors. And I highly recommend, one of my favorites is the Magic Sponge, Mr. Clean. You can buy them individually or in a pack like this. They work very good on woodwork and door frames and the doors. So I recommend those, and you'll do that in every room. Also on the furniture, you'll want to get like a cloth, a very soft cloth. Matter of fact, these are old baby diapers that I kept for my kids that I use for dust rags now. You just barely dampen this. You could use like Murphy's oil soap, or I know my grand piano downstairs, the directions came with a soft cloth, one cloth to just barely be damp, to wipe it down, and then immediately another soft cloth to dry it. So you could just use water on your furniture if it's very sparing, and that way. Other people at the library told me, their mother used to just say pledge, but they said she used to like ration it out, very little pledge. You've used too much pledge, not that much pledge, like we were saving pledge, for a very long time. You'll also want to do your windows, so that might involve cloth or paper towels or a microfiber towel, Windex or something similar. You can also even use newspaper. It sounds crazy, but newspapers make mirrors and windows clean up very well. You could use it with vinegar. You could use it with like a Windex type product. So that's something I learned in college, in cleaning in my college years, and very helpful, except now here at this house we don't get newspapers, we read them online, so I'm left out a little bit. You might want to use a feather duster. Now I like a lamb's wool feather duster when I'm dusting my furniture, and I put Endust on it, and this is for the routine cleaning, not just for spring cleaning, but it attracts the dust, and so I use that. Obviously, if you have carpets, then you may want to clean them. Somebody said they use the Resolve carpet spray, put on about a 3-foot wide spread and do sections of the rug at the time. Others used other products like Resolve. If you have floors, a bucket, this is my wet, I don't want it to be wet here on the carpet, but a wet mop that you can wring out. I like to use lemon scented ammonia to get hot soapy water for floors. Sponges are important, Comet, that kind of thing. Well, that's more for the bathrooms. But anyway, working your room from the top to the bottom. And you will take about a day to do each bathroom. Now, if it's a small bathroom, you might get in more than one. You could incorporate halls into the day that you're doing a bathroom. And so then, one day each for like a living room, a dining room, family room, whatever's left over from other rooms. If in your family room or living room you have a fireplace, you want to clean that out, get it ready for summer, clean out the ashes, clean off if you have a glass door in front of your fireplace. If you have brick or stone walls, you'll want to vacuum that. And then the biggest job will be your kitchen. And Fran said she takes 3 days. I think my mom took 3 days and maybe more, because she would clean the stove and the oven. And they didn't have self-cleaning ovens back in that era. Empty the freezer and get the ice all out of the freezer. We have frost-free now. Clean out everything in your refrigerator. That's a good thing. Washing down all of your cabinets on the outside, and believe it or not, emptying all the cabinets of all their dishes. Thankfully, my mom had a dishwasher. She would just do every cabinet, take the dishes out, wipe the cabinets all out on the inside, put them all back, and wipe down all the appliances. I do have to say, in talking to other staff, several people mentioned the problem of keeping stainless steel appliances clean. And one of the librarians said to me, "Who sold us this bill of goods that stainless steel appliances were a great idea?" And we all started laughing. And then I have a gas stove, and there's many parts to the top, many parts to the top of that, and so that takes a lot of time too. So all those steps you did in the bedroom, you'll repeat in the other rooms, and then I just gave you some additional information. Okay, so another of my questions that I asked people at the library was, what are some of your favorite devices or tools or products you use in cleaning? And several people said, get a good vacuum cleaner. And I am going to insert some pictures of vacuum cleaners. I looked through like my mother's, my vacuum cleaners, my grandmother's, mine, and it's really a funny progression from the 40s. I showed you my grandmother, Mom Davis's, with the rug beater, but then how did they get from where we are, from there to where we are today? The first vacuum cleaner I can recall was my mother's Filter Queen. She got when she was married in the late 40s. It was a canister, and we used to slide it across the floor. This is the exact color of the one we had. And she said she bought a Filter Queen because that is the brand her mother always used. It was big news in our family in the 1950s when my grandmother did not buy a Filter Queen vacuum, but got a Hoover upright. Oh, this was big news, these upright cleaners. And I think she had it for the rest of her days. So from the 50s until she passed away. In the 1960s, my mom made an appointment for a vacuum cleaner salesman to come to our home. I can remember him spreading out all these goods on our living room floor and also showing us how much dirt was in our house. We were amazed at the power of this turquoise compact vacuum cleaner that looked like some kind of a spaceship. We were so impressed, and you could even polish your floors with this special attachment. The Filter Queen had lasted 20 plus years, and of course, we never got rid of old things. They then moved on to maybe it'd be upstairs for a while, so you wouldn't have to carry a vacuum up and down the steps, or then it would move to the basement, or eventually it would move to our family cabin. The Filter Queen lived a very long life, but the compact was the talk of the town. The bright colors, the flashiness of the 60s, this is what I learned to vacuum with. In a real sense. Well, I did the Filter Queen as a younger child, but this was the fancy schmancy, do all kinds of special things. The compact, this bright turquoise compact vacuum cleaner. I was married in 1973, but we just used vacuum cleaners for a number of years. But in 1980, and coincidentally, it was when our first child was born, so there might be a connection there, we bought our first brand new vacuum cleaner. We had the salesman come. He did the demo in our living room as well. My mom had really said to me, Electrolux is a good brand. You need to get something reliable and that'll last and not replacing it every few years. So this was, I remember ours had a sticker from the 1980 Olympics on it. We had it for years, and just like other vacuums in our family, it moved around in different locations. Up first, it was our main one for the whole house, then downstairs in our basement, and then, yes, it too lived at the cabin for a number of years. This was a powerful, but boy, is it heavy kind of vacuum cleaner. We did get another Electrolux around, I don't know, in the 2000s, 2010, some kind of that era. So my present Electrolux is very similar, but the other one had a lovely long life with children. And so some other vacuums you might want to consider. As I say, get a good one. Like I've had two Electrolux in almost 50 years of marriage, and so that has worked well for us. Everybody is different. Somebody else loved their Dyson. I also got a hand-me-down from one of my daughters, a used Roomba, and so that's nice. That is not for spring cleaning or heavy-duty cleaning, but a Roomba is really nice for your floor's dirty and you're really busy, and you can put it on and let it run whether you're at home or whether you're not. It'll go back and go to its dock and charge itself. So a free Roomba, you can't beat that. So we're enjoying that at the moment. There's other kinds of vacuums, like a dust buster. I got my husband one for Christmas so that I could use it too. But that's really good, and even my little grandsons know, when they drop their Cheerios or, crumbs on the floor from cookies, we have to get the dust buster. So I like that. Of course, I don't have an old-fashioned regular broom, but I do like an angled broom. I also like the kind that have the dustpan attached to it, so that's really nice. Then there's all kind of different mops, like the Swiffer mops. You can get Swiffer, and several people mentioned those. You can get wet ones or dry ones. There's also Swiffer claws, or those little dusting wands, so you can get that. Of course, I already mentioned you need a bucket. Somebody else said they couldn't live without a squeegee, like for doing windows or mirrors, so some people really like that. Others mentioned electric scrubbers. Ones are battery operated scrubbers, that you would use inside of a bathtub, in a shower, in a sink, that they're very effective. Somebody else said, I love to use soft scrub. So, and there's different favorites among, cleansers like Comet or Ajax, or different people mentioned those. Somebody else said I couldn't live without Oxy carpet cleaner for pet spots. So if you have pets like we do, I have an assortment of those kind of cleaners underneath my kitchen sink. I like Clorox wipes for even regular bathroom cleaning, for cleaning the top of the toilet, underneath the lifting up the lids and the seats and doing that. And I'm one of two girls. I had two girls. I'm learning a new way of life with two little grandsons. Also, I like to use, this was one of my favorite things I mentioned, Clorox toilet wands. You just buy the wand and the the little scrubby things on the end, and then after that you just get the refills. And I usually get a couple of toilet cleanings out of, like I'll do this one, I'll do the one in the laundry room, I'll go upstairs to the bedroom out of one, and then you just press this little button over the trash can and it just pops right off. Of course not now when I want to show you, but I don't even touch it. I just pop it into the trash can. So now it's just ready to go for the next time. Let's see, some of the other ones. I do, at this house, have a built-in vacuum system that came with a house. I tried it once or twice. It just isn't for me. Everybody's different. You know, it's got like a 20-foot, you know, long hose, and you know, goes from room to room, but I just like something that I can move around a little easier. But I do have a cleaner that I really like that I got in the last year or two. There's a number of steam cleaners out there. This is a Shark, somebody at work recommended to me. I really like, and like you plug it in, you put some water here in this hole, there's a little measuring cup that comes with it, and this little carpet cleaner kind of thing, this just goes into the laundry, and so you just wash it. And it flips over nice, you can use it on two sides, and it has 3 different settings at different heats, so at different heat settings, so you can use it just very lightly. If you have wood laminate flooring, heavy duty, make the temperature the highest for like out in my kitchen. So some other things that you might want to consider. I did forget to say that in all of your spring cleaning, be sure you move all your furniture. One of the librarians said to me, my mother said we had to turn every piece of furniture over in the house. So turn your chairs upside down, turn your tables. I guess that was why my mother didn't like to clean, but she liked to check that us kids did a good job. One of my very favorite stories came from another librarian that said, as a teenager, her mother would not let her go out until her room was clean. So what she would do on a Saturday is she would take her hairdryer and she would blow it all around her room and just pick up like the edge of a doily, because her mother might pick up a doily and look to see if she dusted underneath. So she would use a hairdryer, do her whole room, and be done in no time, and would pass inspection with her mom and was able to go out. So if all else fails, you might want to try the hairdryer, or somebody else said a leaf blower. That might do it on a bigger scale. But anyway, whether you are a spring cleaner or whether you sweep it under the rug, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Marlene at Home. Thanks for joining us, and come back again next week.